Alright, it is December 26th. You're seeing this. Actually, you're not seeing this. This video will be posted at midnight because that's when this event ended. So, midnight, December 26th. So, the end of the Christmas truce. We talked about this like 2 days ago, and now we're talking about it now, December 26th, because it would be kind of weird for the truce to end on Christmas Day. So, at midnight, basically it was like when the Christmas truce along the different fronts ended as a whole. One specific account was the trenches at Upland. The H and the S is silent. So, in this specific spot, the captain, the British captain in charge of the whole like truce, shot his pistol 3 times up in the air and held up a flag that said Merry Christmas, showing it to the German side. And the German captain on the other side, held up a flag that said thank you and shot 2 times to signal both to signal their troops back to the trenches, meaning the Christmas truce was in fact over. Now, this wasn't exactly the case for all places. In certain places, the Christmas truce led up until New Year's. So 1915 was when it ended. New Year's of 1915. So it lasted for almost an entire week. So that is pretty cool. But either way, both sides just went back to fighting eventually. So, the buddy that you were talking to and shared your whole life story with, and him the same way, and then you played soccer with him, you just sniped him, or he sniped you. It was brutal. It was but that's war, I guess. The same thing tried to be repeated in Actually, before we get to that, the higher officials, higher than a captain or anything like that, were very furious about the Christmas truce because that was literally just talking to the enemy and having a good time with them. And this was war, and this was not to be taken like that. It was, and they were pretty mad. But in 1915, the Christmas of 1915, some places not in the Western Front, less than the previous year, did partake in the Christmas truce, but other places who did do the Christmas truce in 1914 but didn't do it in 1915 were like, no, we're good. Let's just not do that. Because, for starters, the higher officials that didn't like the Christmas truce, the first one, were like, if you do that again, we're going to court-martial you, which is basically just expend you. Expend? I don't know. Take you out of the military. And also for the fact that, people were kind of used to, being at war for a year now. It was they were used to it. They were toughened up now. They weren't they weren't at the state they were at the beginning of the war, the first few months. So there was that. And after the 1915 Christmas truce, which was, I don't think that's a really official thing, even in, historical terms. It's just after some places did a Christmas truce in 1915. The higher officials were like, okay, if you really do it, any of you guys are gone, out of here. We're going to give you a consequence, punishment, but not something that's brutal and barbaric, like the Germans or the British would do. I shouldn't act both sides. Well, anyways, so there was nothing in 1916. It was just 1915. And plus, in 1916, the battles and war and blood and brutality that they saw in 1915 alone, that was basically it. They weren't soft anymore. They weren't new to the experience of war, I guess, or being away from home during the holidays. So that was it. Christmas truce of 1914 ended in December 26, Boxing Day, or New Year's of 1915. Well, hopefully you're watching this at midnight so you get a head start. All right, goodbye.